Hi crafty friends, this is Tracy Hines, aka Nanner Banana, signing on. Today we're going to make a cute double-decker pocket. Perfect for tags and journaling cards and whatever surprises you want to put in these pockets. You're going to need the 3x5 index cards, some scraps of fabric, trims, and anything else you'd like to embellish. You don't have to use your sewing machine, but I will be using mine today, but you can also just glue. I wanted to show you what it would look like inside your book here. And then if you tucked a couple things in, isn't that adorable? All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is glue some fabric to a couple 3x5 index cards. I went ahead and made some up because the glue really needs to dry before it gets sewed, or at least that's what I'm doing. That's why I made a couple up. But I want to go through all the steps so you can see how this goes together. So I just glue on the blank back side. I just smear that out with my finger, or spread it out with my finger, and place that down on the fabric as evenly as possible. Flip it over, make sure it's nice and smooth, and set it off to the side for a moment. And then we're going to go ahead and do our second fabric. I suppose if you didn't have to do two different fabrics, you could do it in the same fabric. I just like the added interest it adds when you use two different types of fabric. What's everybody's plans this weekend? I hope everybody gets a little bit of crafting time in. But whatever you do, I hope you have a great time doing it. All right, wipe my hands off, and I'll glue over here to the side. So I just cut the material out, or cut around the material of the cut around the card. I'm going to set this over to the side to dry more. I'm hoping this weekend to get all my signatures sewn into the rest of the little golden books. And I also plan on doing a couple embellishment videos for those as well. Saving all my little scraps I'm cutting off. I'm going to do some fabric clusters, and I thought this would be a good piece. These would be good little pieces to add to those. Okay, so I'm going to set these off to the side to dry a little bit more while I sew the one that's already dried. Trims. All right. This one I measured 2 inches and I placed the bottom one right at that 2-inch mark. And just, well, first I'm skipping a step. We need to sew across the top of both of these and then we'll sew them together. So let's do that first. Move this a little closer to me. Okay, now we can measure this to where we have this coming in right at that 2-inch mark. Let's make sure everything's even and lined up good. All right. And if you felt like you wanted to just put a little bit of glue on each side there, you could to hold it in place before you sew it, or if you're just gluing, that's fine too. Let's make sure that's lined up good. You can see where, even though this is for the Raggedy Ann and Andy series I'm working on, you could use these double-decker fabric pockets for any theme journal you're working on. You just coordinate your fabric to your journal. Okay, let me see if this is dry enough to sew it too, and we'll go ahead and sew this one and decorate them both, because that is the fun part, decorating them. I've been working on the Wizard of Oz journal. I showed you guys the book that I got in my Thursday thrift day haul. But I've been working on that. I couldn't help myself. I just dove right in. I've got the cover all done, and I've started assembling signatures, and I did go ahead and seal the cover so it'd be more protected. So I'm waiting on that to dry. You may get a glimpse of that tomorrow too in one of the videos, or I might do a short where it's not going to be done, but you can see how far I am on it. I like how it's turning out. Okay, let's measure. Do that at 2 inches. Just remember when you're sewing, especially when you're coming down on, and like this right here, I slow my speed down right before I get to that. Otherwise, there's a possibility the little corner could pop up like that. And by going slow, I have a lot more control and can push it back down. That happened on my first one, but thankfully I was able to fix it. That's the only place that you've got to be careful when you're sewing these. That is my tip whenever sewing, whether it's a sewing project or sewing for your junk journal. If it's not a race, slow your speed down till you're comfortable with your stitching. And if you're gumming up on a tricky part, just slow your machine down, and that way you get the results you want. All right, move that over here out of the way, and we can get ready to decorate. Remember exactly how I planned this out, but we'll see if I can figure it out. I think that might have been how I wanted to do this one. This one, I can't remember if I wanted to do red at the top or white. Let's see. So that's what red at the top looks like. And that's what the white looks like. I think I like the white better. Okay, so let me get my Fabri-Tac out and glue this down. Everything's sticking to my fingers. Might be a little bit out of frame. I hope I wasn't out of frame for most of that. I'll try to make sure I put this one up a little closer so you see the whole process. If you guys enjoyed watching this video, I'd really appreciate it if you'd give it a like. Leave a comment down below if you think you're going to try making some for the projects you're working on. I'd love to know what projects, what type of journals you're working on right now. And if you've not subscribed and you think you would like this content, please subscribe. All right, these are just about finished. Okay, what do you guys think? I think they turned out really, really cute. Again, you can put a card there, there. All right. Well, guys, thanks for hanging out with me. Keep it cute, keep it crafty, and keep making something out of nothing. Bye.